All right, let's go ahead and do some practice. So we have our problem of 8,639 divided by 3. We have our dividend of 8,639 and our divisor of 3. We need to figure out what our quotient is, and we're going to show it using two strategies. The first strategy we're going to use is partial quotients, or magic 7. The second strategy is standard algorithm. And I want you to check your answer using the inverse operation. So go ahead and pause the video right here, and once you have solved, go ahead and come back and check your answer with me. All right, let's go ahead and check. So on this side, I'm going to do the magic 7 or partial quotients, and right here, I'm going to do standard algorithm. So we have 8,639 divided by 3. So I'm going to go ahead and set it up. I want to get as close to 8,639 as I can. So I am going to, I'll multiply by 1,000. I'm going to put my multiple on the side. And if you use different numbers on here than I did, that's totally fine. It should add up to the same quotient regardless, okay? So we're gonna do 3 times 1,000 gives me 3,000. And I'm left over with 5,639. I can still subtract another 1,000, or another 1,000 groups of 3. And now I'm left with 2,639. And I'm going to keep going. So, to speed up our process a little bit, I'm going to use multiples that are friendly to me to get us closer to 2,639. I know that I can multiply 500 times 3 to get us closer to our number here. So I'm going to put 500 right here. 500 times 3 will give me 1,500. And when I subtract, I will be left over with 1,139. And now I'm going to use, moving over here, I'm going to use, let's see. I can't use 500 again because that would go over our number, but I can use 300. So I'm going to put 300 right here. 300 times 3 gives me 900. And now I'm going to subtract. Which leaves me with 239. Now I cannot use a number in the hundreds because that would give me over 239. So I got to go smaller. Let's see. I could use 70 because 3 times 70 gives me 210. Which will leave me with 29. Now I need to get as close to 29 as possible. So 3 times 9 will give me 27, which will leave me with 2. I can't get 3 groups from 2, so I'm going to stop there. Now I need to add up my partial quotients to figure out what my quotient is. So I have 1,000 plus 1,000 is 2,000, plus 500 is 2,500, plus 300 is 2,800, plus 70 is 2,870, plus 9 is 2,879. So our quotient should be 2,879 with a remainder of 2. Now I'm going to solve the same problem using standard algorithm and see if I get the same answer. Hopefully I do. So let's go ahead and set it up. Eight can be divided by 3 into at least 2 groups, because 3 times 2 gives me 6. I'm going to to subtract, which will leave me with 2. Bring down my 6. 3 can go into 26 8 times, because 8 times 3 is 24, which will leave me with 2. Bring down my 3, and 3 can go into 23 7 times, because 7 times 3 is 21, which will again leave me with 2. Now I bring down my 9 for the number 29, and 29 can be divided by 3 into 9 groups, which will give me 27, and I will have a remainder of 2. So once again, I have a quotient of 2,879 with a remainder of 2. So now all that's left is to check my answer using the inverse operation. So I have 2,879 times 3. 9 times 3 gives me 27. 7 times 3 gives me 21, plus 2 gives me 23. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 2 is 26. 2 times 3 gives me 6, plus 2 is 8. And now I need to add my remainder of 2. And just like that, I'm back to my original dividend of 8,639. Heck yeah. All right, now we have one more problem we're going to practice with. It is 9,549 divided by 7. So we have our dividend of 9,549 and our divisor of 7. We need to find our quotient. Once again, we are going to use 2 strategies to solve, and then we are going to check our answer using the inverse operation. So go ahead and pause the video here and solve. All right, let's go ahead and solve our problem. So I'm going to first do the partial quotient method, or magic 7. So I'm going to go ahead and set it up with 9,549 being divided by 7. I'm going to get as close to 9,549 as I can. So I'm going to use 1,000. Because that's going to take a huge chunk out of our number. So we have 7 times 1,000 is 7,000, which will leave us with 2,549. Now I can't use 1,000 again because that would go over our new number. So I am going to use something smaller. So let's see, 7 times 500 would be 3,500, so that's too much. 7 times 400 would be too much because that'd be 2,800. 7 times 300 would work though. Excuse me. So I'm going to use 300. 7 times 300 gives me 2,100. And I'm left over with 449. Now I can't use 300 again because that'd be too big. So I am going to use something smaller. So let's see. 7 times 60 would get us really close to this, because 7 times 60 would be 420. So I'm going to go ahead and put 60 right here. So I have 420. And now I'm going to be left with 29. And now I need to get as close to 29 as possible. So let's see, 7 times 3 would get us to 21. 7 times 4 would get us to 28. So let's do 4. And we're left over with 1. And we can stop because you can't go any further than 1 because it can't be divided into 7 groups, at least not without using decimals, which we don't do in 4th grade. So I'm going to take my partial quotients, I'm going to add them up, and we will end up with 1,364 and a remainder of 1. And now I'm going to use standard algorithm to see if I get the same answer before I check using the inverse operation. So I'm going to set it up in standard algorithm format. Oops, that's not the right number. And we're going to start. So 9 can be divided by 7 at least one time. So I'm going to put my 1 on the top, my 7 right here, and I'm going to subtract. 9 minus 7 is 2. Bring down my 5. 7 can go into 25 at least 3 times for 21. We end up with a 4 left over. Bring down my other 4 for 44. 7 can go into 44 at least 6 times because of 42. We are once again left over with a lovely little 2. Bring down our 9, and 7 can go into 29 4 times to make 28. And once again, we're left over with the remainder of 1. So we have the same quotient of 1,364 with a remainder of 1. Now I'm going to check my answer using the inverse operation. And if I get my original dividend, I am right and I can be done. So I have 1,364 times 7. 4 times 7 gives me 28. 6 times 7 gives me 42, plus 2 is 44. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 4 is 25. 1 times 7 is 7, plus 2 gives me 9. And now I need to add my remainder of 1, which will give me 9,549. And heck yeah, that's my original dividend. And that has been Math Corner with Miss Perry. I hope that I have been of some assistance, and I hope that you reach out if you do need more help. See you later.